discuss what this common saying means. When you say security is everybody's business, maybe we need to talk about this. And let's begin with you, Mr. Abaagu, before we come to you, AIG Inalegwu.
Yes, security is said to be everybody's business. And that is because security is so fundamental that Section 14(2) of the Nigerian Constitution says security and welfare of the Nigerian citizens is the primary purpose of government. That means that whatever else government does is a bonus, but its most fundamental duty is to provide security and then welfare of its citizens. That is not all. The social objectives of the Nigerian Constitution under Section 17(2)(b) especially also says it guarantees that the sanctity of the human person shall also be recognized by government. The sanctity of the human person. That is not all. Article 20 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights also provides the right to existence of all citizens of the world, of Africa. The right to human existence is also guaranteed under Article 20 of the African Charter for Human and People's Rights. Now, these put together only sum up to the constitutional provision which provides under Section 33 the right to life. That is the highest provision, the right to life. Every citizen of Nigeria has a right to life, and is only under an execution of the judgment of a court that life can be taken away, or in some cases, maybe in quelling riots by security agencies, and maybe stopping a fleeing offender, that the security agencies can also lawfully take life. But why your question is appropriate in saying that security is the business of every person is because under the same Section 33, Section 33(b), 2b, particularly provides, 2a, particularly provides that every citizen has a right of self-defense. That is a private right of defense. A right of self-defense, especially when your right is under threat of violence or lawful violence, and also in protection of your property, and indeed in also defense of somebody else's life. You have a right of self-defense. So that being the case, all citizens of Nigeria have a right to security. They need to do everything to secure themselves. They need to do everything to secure their property. Where government fails to provide the security, they have indeed an obligation to find a way of securing their properties. And they have tried to do this in several ways. You have where Governor Masari of Katsina State had mentioned that the citizens need to come out and defend themselves. And this was also supported by, I think, the Minister of Defense at one point or the other, General Magashi, who told the citizens to also try to defend themselves, not to give in cheaply to these elements that are making hair out of their lives. And that is not all. There was also an incident where a general from Tiwa Danjuma had also mentioned that citizens need to come out and defend themselves. These calls have been all over Nigeria, and if you see in the southwest, they have set up what you could call vigilante at a higher scale, the Operation Amotekun, that is doing rather well in trying to reduce these acts of criminality by banditry or kidnappings, and they have reduced these substantially in the southwest. There was one that was supposed to take care of the southeastern states, Abaagu. I don't know to what extent that has taken off, but you see non-state actors also trying to operate in that regard.
And the civilian JTF in the northeast.
The civilian JTF, exactly, that was even the first one. And the military themselves found very useful in helping them to fight the Boko Haram, and they did a wonderful job.
Okay.
And there are vigilantes that are populated all over the place. So security is indeed the business of everyone, just like Section 24 has also provided that everybody has a duty to help security agencies in maintenance of law and order. So security is indeed the business of everyone.
And this is a brilliant legal grounding of a saying that is rather common, you know, to discover that there is something sophisticated about this very simple expression is indeed something good. Because you mentioned that in the Constitution, the welfare and security of citizens is the primary responsibility of government. Every other thing is just a footnote. That is security being the concern of government. But you also mentioned that the Constitution also provides that citizens should make sure their dignity, their lives are defended. And you have demonstrated how citizens who are civilians have keyed into policy issues and institutional frameworks for this self-defense. But beyond the institutional frameworks, at the level of the individual, what will this self-defense mean? What will taking my security into my hands mean? Because some people may interpret this as meaning you should accumulate weapons, and whenever they come, you take it. You are in law enforcement, AIG Inalegwu. You can speak to them.
One of the things, when you say security is very important business, that means everybody is concerned with his personal security and the security
of others.
A famous English police officer called Robert Pell, one of the statements he made, he said, the people are the police and the people are the police. And the uniformed police officers, yes, they are paid salary, but they are not more police than the civil police. That was what Robert Pell said. Then again, one of the things I learned in police college is the power of arrest. Right. When a police officer arrests without warrant and a private person also has power of arrest.
Wow.
But he only arrests and hand over
to the police.
So,
not to arrest and put tie on the neck and
no,
bond.
No. Yes, so the private person has the power of arrest if an offense is being committed in his presence. Can call one, two, other. So help me catch this guy. Call the police to come. That goes to show that all of us are in the business of policing. But more importantly, when we say, see something, say something, that is why it is a business of all. Say something, say something. You can say something via social media. You can say something via email. You can say something by giving to volunteer information. If every citizen is playing his role as as a public-spirited individual or citizen, we are going to crush crime in no time. But when we say it is not my business, it is your business because it affects your life. If somebody is selling cannabis in your neighborhood and every thief is coming there to buy and smoke, I don't inform the police. One day police come there on a raid and the people are so armed and there is an incident of gunfire. What if there is a stray bullet in your neighborhood? You will not agree to that. So when we say security is every person's business, means everybody has a role to play, has a part to play.
No matter how little.
Yes, and we must not sleep on that obligation, because if we do, it will have catastrophic effect. That is why security is every person's business. Either you see a security officer, you even say, well done, you people are doing a nice job. You're also contributing because the people in security services need moral boosting. Because that moral boost is, look at the president of Ukraine, Zelensky. He comes, continue to boost the morale of his forces.
Yes,
Motivates them, galvanizes them. And they are, so you can imagine, you cooperate with the police. Yes, they cannot impress you all the time, unfortunately so. But it is the development of our community. And so, whilst it is everybody's business, whether you're a governor, whether you're a truck pusher, whether you're a barber, you're a hotelier, whatever you find, if criminals come and lodge in a hotel, instead of paying their room rate of 50,000, and they are paying you 200,000, oh, you are taking blood money because the thing can come. It is your obligation to say, these people, I don't know how they do it. Every time people say, oh, you inform security agencies, the list, I have always asked, give me an example of one security man or police officer you inform, and this is what he did, and will not take action. But I appeal to those in service, the security services. Multiply your number, because your number is too small. 300,000 police can't do anything in a population of 200+ million people. Military, civil defense, road safety, whatever, they can't do much. But make yourself large. And how do you make yourself large? By leveraging on your cooperating public. By not abusing their rights.
Very important.
By not doing arrests that have no meaning. By not changing complainant to become a suspect. Then you have their back. They come to you. By listening to them. Because what bothers them may not be what you're addressing. You come, you say, you may be catching all the terrorists, but people in Wuse Market are more interested in somebody who snatches their phone. So you have to have listening sessions with your various communities. Exactly. The man in Abaagu may be more interested in someone stealing his farm product. You've got to listen, and they will talk to you. If you don't listen, you are not able to mobilize, you are not able to multiply them, because individuals these days have CCTVs in their house. Private people, government. So if you are able to get their confidence and trust, then you have opened a way of interaction. Then they're able to tell you that my CCTV captured this, but don't let anybody, because they trust you. If you're on patrol, you stop by Holy Rosary by the gate, you ask the police, private security people, they say, oh, boss, how are they? I hope everything is fine. That question you ask, next time when they see something, they're going to call you.
It's very important you underline the need to build the capacity of citizens to become cooperative citizens. So when they cooperate with law enforcement will become more effective. And I was just smiling when you underlined the point that 300,000 police people can do just very little, but they can multiply themselves by having cooperative people. But then, In another very interesting point, you said the police should treat the citizens well, respecting their rights in order to make them more cooperative. Now, let's talk about basic security consciousness. You have been in the law enforcement area as an AIG of police. So let me ask you, what are those tips that you can give to our listeners so that at home, in a marketplace, by the roadside, wherever they are, they will be able to be conscious of their environment and also their security? Some basic tips.
Yes. First of all, avoid undue exposure, inclusive of your families. Avoid ostentatious living. Don't go to parties and begin to spray. Put it in an envelope and drop it. Then save emergency numbers on your phone with speed dial for easy call in case of emergency. And let me give you an emergency number.
Okay.
The FCT Police Command. The first number 0806 0806 1581 938. 0806 1581 938. Or 0803 200 3913. 0803 200 3913. Save these numbers. You can put alphabet A into 5 places. So once you go to your contact, they'll be the first numbers that will come up. Never discuss any security information over the phone.
Good.
Don't be on the driver's seat and say, oh, somebody is bringing me money in the house. So your cook can go and inform, and they'll go and mobilize to come and attack your house. Do not allow anyone else to use your phone to make calls or send messages.
Wow.
Keep a low profile lifestyle. Avoid extravagant display of wealth. I've stated that. Do not spend cash at public functions. Avoid frequenting a particular club or recreation sport.
All the time.
Yes. Avoid unnecessary press publicity. Do not take the same route all the time and avoid routine activities. Be observant when leaving public places and functions.
Especially
Check
if someone is following you.
Yes. Be very careful. Avoid drug and substance abuse. Don't allow people know when you bring home large sums of money. Don't be ashamed to tactically ask for direction and help in new environment using local languages. Use items that come in handy defensively, such as walking stick, umbrella, perfumes, pepper spray, to hit vulnerable points in the body of an attacker. In fact, in your house, after you have your hinges on the wall, have a long rod and put it there. So that if somebody breaks, step by the corner, the first time you hit it on the head and you will not. So have an iron under your bed. So that police will not say, why do you have iron?
Coming from you. Our listeners will love that one.
Don't wear excessive jewelry to public places except in secured environment. To avoid being robbed, use checks or e-payments, especially when use sums are involved in transactions. Avoid amorous escapees. Always keep important documents valuables in bank books at more secure places. Help raise an alarm or call security emergency line when your neighbor is being attacked or is seriously sick. Be vigilant. Always look out for unusual movement of persons around your compound. On suspicion, call those numbers or any security emergency line. Don't be promoters of fake news. Screen before you fall. Don't be promoters of fake news. Screen your news before you fall on social media. Never attempt to run when you come under close attack with weapons. The bullet is so quick. So it's better you wait when they're about kidnapping you. Don't think your vehicle can avoid. No way, just park. Unless it's absolutely safe. Do not resist or panic. Just stay calm and cooperate. Avoid eye contact with the assailants, but respond to instructions and questions very calmly. Do not make sudden movements without first seeking permission, e.g., unfasten your seatbelt, as they must control your attention. They may think you want to bring a gun.
Yes.
So let them tell you, unfasten your seatbelt.
Oh.
Implore them not to use their weapons as you will cooperate fully. Inform them if you have any medical condition. Request to speak with your relatives, close associates, and give them the facts unemotionally. Do not attempt to call the police. Do not attempt to call the police unless it is absolutely safe. Use ATMs only in safe and well-lit places and not at night. Don't go to ATM at night. Always delete your financial transactions in your electronic. If you're a big businessman,
those alerts that come in, delete them.
Always delete.
Okay.
Information about financial deals and travels will be accorded with high level of confidentiality. In transit, when you are traveling, always pre-plan your journey and ensure that the vehicle is in good working condition. Discuss your travel plans only with immediate family members. If you want to pee from your house, or when you get to where they are selling food, unless medical condition, don't just stop
abruptly and say you want to ease up.
After Giri, say you want to pee, somebody just come and collect your Avoid night driving. Make less use of high-value cars that can easily mark you out as a potential target of criminals. When you carry Lamborghini and you are going to Lokoja, do not give right to strangers, including persons dressed in uniform, as they may be criminals in disguise. Do not hitchhike vehicles driven by strangers. Go to motor park. Beware of techniques used by criminals to force unsuspecting victims to stop. Do not sit inside a parked car or on a less busy road. Do not park your car in unlit areas. If you have phone call to make, please make it from the house or go to where there are people.
Wow.
So many others.
Yes, yes,
for
yes.
Now, this is
I'm sure our listeners found all of those tips valuable. We do not have enough time on our hands, so I'm going to allow Mr. Abaagu. I believe you have some words for Nigerian citizens out there who might be under threat of violence or life might be very difficult for. You can say those words briefly.
Thank you, Father. I believe that every Nigerian out there who is in some form of distress should trust God, should pray, and let God take charge. And there were stories about this the train attack. There was somebody who reported that the two people beside him were shot.
We do not have enough time, just a few minutes. Anyway, I think we should do this again. Our listeners will support. We have come to the end of today's edition of Side by Side. I must say a very big thank you to our guests. It has been Mr. Joe Abaagu, Esquire, former Attorney General of Benue State and the Knight of St. Mulumba, and also the Assistant Inspector General of Police, Wilson Inalegwu, retired, who is also
YCSR for life.
A YCSR for life. Very good. Thank you very much, sirs, for coming into the studio. And our listeners, thank you for joining us on the program. The next edition of Side by Side will come your way on Wednesday, the 6th of April, at the same time, 11 a.m. Until then, please keep listening to Radio Maria 91.3 FM. I am Reverend Father Robert Achiaga. Bye, and God bless you.